What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight we're going to be talking about some obvious events going on around the world and some strange ones. So stick around, we'll be right back. Remember, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably from myself, Dex, and anyone else who works with the show, including our wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. That's pretty much it. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf. If you've never been here before, my name is Adam, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, but before I do, remember, you can actually follow along on marfooglenews.com. In fact, if you go, it's organized by thumbnail, so when you see this thumbnail on the main website, you can actually click on it, and it will go to every single article, every single tweet, every single document that we actually end up sharing will be on here by the end of the show. Now, again, you can go here. This is archived, so we don't just say something and expect you to believe it. We actually back up what we say, and we tell you where we got it. Not only that, we actually are going to be adding the calls at the end by the end of the show. So you could call in right now, yes, you, at 224-400-MARF, and your information or your video or whatever you want to share will be there by the end of the show. It is now 8:42 p.m. It is now 5/5/2020. So if you're watching the replay, make sure to leave a comment below anytime that you feel triggered. That's pretty much that. And then either a thumbs up or thumbs down every time you are triggered. That's a great way to live. All right, so without further ado, let's bring in Dex. Dex, how are you doing, and what is going on, man?
Hey, Adam, I am here. Hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing pretty good. Been enjoying some nicer weather, some warmer weather here, trying to keep the mind off of being stuck in home. But yeah.
Speaking of stuck in home, obviously we have covered the meat shortage. I guess the case of whether we're actually having a shortage or not, and now they are saying that we are physically running out of meat, but that at the same time they are getting rid of thousands and thousands of animals because the processing plants aren't processing the meats. So, where do you think this is going to go?
It's interesting. I heard another story on this that was saying that the beef cattle or the beef industry is actually getting rid of a lot of cattle to just sort of keep the price up because the price was down and they wanted to make up for lost revenue. I don't know if that's true. I've even seen I think a report coming out where somebody was asking for somebody to look into these meat companies, whether it's the packing companies or the actual industry that supplies the beef, to see if there's some sort of collusion going on too. So there's a lot of things happening here. We probably this won't be the end of it. We're going to hear more and more as the weeks go on.
So here from Bloomberg, it says with meat shortages rolling, it says roiling. I've never even heard that word, roiling. It's like broiling without the B. The U.S., some Wendy's companies' restaurants have taken burgers, their hallmark item, off of the menu. One thing that I thought of was the fact that Burger King months before this released their vegetarian burger that has no meat. And I was thinking, did their CEO foresee this shortage of meat and end up releasing that burger because it literally almost tastes exactly like a Whopper. I think it's called the Impossible Whopper. I mean, the thing literally, if it wasn't for the fact that I guess if there was no sauce, I could probably tell. But if it wasn't for the charbroiled, like the color, I probably wouldn't have known it wasn't a Whopper. It's pretty gross looking though when you tear it up. So again, a lot of vegetarians are dancing around, but Rip Curl, somebody who's modded for us for a long time, he's a good friend of the show. He has a bunch of great information. Made a great point. He said, "Don't start dancing vegetarians yet." Because soon they'll say, there's a vegetable shortage or something else. If the meat ended up, actually running out, guess what would go next? Fruit and vegetables and things like that. So again,
well, that's interesting you say that, Adam. I had a conversation with my grocer 2 days ago, and we were talking about the meat, and they actually said the vegetables are going next. And while they don't have the higher prices right now, they will really soon, because they've gotten information that's telling them that the growers are having too many of the vegetables either not being able to be picked or gathered because there's no help to do it, and they're rotting on the vine. So there's going to be a shortage there, and they're just going to have to raise the prices on produce.
Well, and remember this, because last year all of the local United States crops got flooded out. I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, I believe some states considered it state of emergency because of how many farmers were affected. I mean, you're talking about government funds went towards helping. I mean, it was a really bad situation. You're talking about corn. Corn stalks literally not growing. In fact, last year we covered that. People were tweeting where their corn should be at that time of the year, and they showed a picture from like the year before, and it was 6 feet tall, and then this year it was literally up to their knees. It just wasn't growing the same. A lot of this stuff got wiped out. Animals, in fact, got wiped out. So even, beef was affected by that. So remember that, vegetarians, that's why we want to have, a lot of food and vegetables and things that are canned, that in case all of that stuff runs out, that we'll be fine. I know that a lot of you are actually prepared because you've been watching this show for a long time. We don't claim to have any special power or anything, looking into a crystal ball, but we can say we have a pretty excellent track record as far as calling some of this. In fact, even the current event, this humongous event, I did video specials on this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, because of all the weird stuff that was going around, especially some of the things that were said by the famous people that are now, kind of looked at for answers here, like Mr. Gates and some of the studies that they did, the WHO and such. In fact, they showed what we would look like after the GDP, what we would look like after a pandemic like what is happening right now. And it shows pretty much all of the allies doing somewhat okay money-wise, but all of our enemies, for some reason, and that was the point I made, being wiped out financially. And then you got the Deagle that says the exact opposite, that all of us are wiped out population-wise, and then they have very, little to no change. So it's really up to you. We've talked about a lot of that kind of stuff. What do you guys think about the shortage? Have you been to one of these Wendy's or a restaurant that says, they're going to stop carrying meat or something like this? It does say, a check on Wendy's app showed that the only chicken items were available for takeout or delivery orders from at least some of its stores in California. The situation has prompted a number of customers to ask, "Where's the beef?" on social media, invoking a Wendy's catchphrase from the 1980s that poked fun of the small burgers sold by other chains. And by the way, I just want to warn you guys, this show might, I am very hopeful that it doesn't happen, be cut short by a rogue thunderstorm. So if you see a sudden flash and I run out of the room screaming like a girl, that is just thunder, just to let you know. That's not going to happen again on this show. It is a live show, though, so you never know. Hopefully we don't lose
fudge.
Yeah, we need to tweet that video out again. That was pretty bad.
That was. Adam, real quick before we wrap up the meat stuff, the other one I noticed about a week ago was freezers. I don't know if you've looked at that one. People were talking about not being able to get freezers, and now you pretty much can't get a freezer. You can't find a chest freezer. And if you can find one, if you're in the market, you might want to grab it because you're not going to see one. And then the rumor that I'm hearing, and this is just, rumor, is that potentially they're not even releasing more intentionally because if they know there is going to be a meat shortage,
they say people
the
hoard.
last thing they want to do is put more freezers out there because that will encourage people to hoard and store more when they don't want that happening.
Okay, so do you guys realize how many people are pissed off about this? They are as far as not selling freezers or holding back freezers to not encourage hoarding, there's a difference between hoarding and being prepared. And it sounds like they literally don't want you even going past your normal freezer, which that's not prepared. If you had even your entire freezer, and I bet you, and this is probably a good suggestion, if you actually, take out all of the other stuff, if you've got old ice cream or ice packs or something, fill that with meat if you don't have an external freezer, because you might just need it. As far as, one thing to think about too, though, is if you don't have electricity, how are you going to keep a freezer going anyways? And that's another thing that we've talked about a lot. If it gets really that bad to that point, we might be looking at some other side effects as well. Like, you're talking about why would they not do that? Why would they hold that back? I know a lot of people got pissed off when they stopped selling seeds and saying that you could not have access to the planting or gardening areas of some stores like Walmart, Fred Meyer, these in certain states. Now, with multiple states opening up, it really does seem like it's becoming back to normal, but I don't think that's exactly what is happening. Because they're kind of slowly giving back people the ability to go into a restaurant or to go get a haircut. People think that, it's all better. I just saw Goose Wayne. He's just an absolutely unique creator, awesome, funny guy. He's on here, and he was eating at a restaurant. He was sitting at a table, and he said Florida just reopened, having a great time. And I thought that it looked like you could see it was a full restaurant, but they were distanced. And I was thinking that, people are going to think that everything's good. Is everybody back to work? Is everything reopened? Retail is not open. I've been watching all of the briefings. I actually watched all the way through the English and Spanish version of the LA mayor, Garcetti, talking about what they're doing. And then I watched Inslee's, and I watched New York's, Kumo's. The major cities, we have to look to them because honestly, we are kind of the model for the rest of the country. Inslee's facial recognition software is actually going to be setting an example for the rest of you. So very soon you are going to have facial recognition. That's a guarantee. That isn't, fake this or fake that. That is a absolute fact. That is what is going to be happening on top of the contact tracing and things like this that they are kicking in. So just be ready for it. It's not much we can do about it besides a full-on revolt, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So again, these are changes we're going to have to live with and prepare for, unfortunately. So with that being said, some places are reopening. Is it making you feel better? Are you in one of the states that reopened? Dex here can get a haircut, a tattoo, even his nails done. Isn't that right, Dex?
I can, but I haven't.
Okay. Well, good thing you're not on camera because I would catch you in one. Tyson expects to keep slowing meat production as CV sickens workers and tanks income. The meat producer warned of continued, quote, slowdowns and temporary idling of plants during the CV pandemic. So, again, this is regarding the meat shortage or the supposed one. It says net income fell 15% for the second quarter ending March 28th compared to the same period of the previous fiscal year. Arkansas-based Tyson reported. Tyson is one of the biggest chicken makers in the world. They practically go caca. The CV pan has forced the company to close several plants and slow productions as hundreds of workers test positive for the virus. It says, quote, "We have and expect to continue to face slowdowns and temporary idling of production facilities from team member shortages or choices we make to ensure operational safety." So isn't there something else that they could do to not have these guys spread this thing? Like, you would think in this factory that, you know, in all of the factories, why not? Why would the government not ship a lot of those masks? Because honestly, if you look at the numbers of other stuff, hospitals are now running, slightly back to normal, and then you've got all of these extra masks that they've shipped around. Give those to the chicken and meat workers so they don't spread it around. Like, I don't get how all these guys are getting it.
Some of those places, Adam, they actually have to wear a mask, and I think the real problem, and I noticed this in some of the videos I was watching from inside the factories, is they actually, in their normal stance, they're working shoulder to shoulder. So their meat's moving down a line, and they have to move at a certain pace, and they're working literally right beside one another to make sure the line is the most efficient. And now if they social distance, they have to put these gaps in the line, and those gaps will now slow down the production. Only so much production can move down that line when you have fewer people on it.
Yeah,
so it's going to have a detrimental effect to the output. No matter what, you can't change that unless you make the line longer, which would be a physical issue.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to have a ton of different problems here. Looks like there you go, boom. This is what the factories are going to have to look like. Bam. That's going to be Tyson's new social distancing chicken production line. Unfortunately, this isn't, these aren't jokes. This is really, something's going to have to change. Otherwise, again, no matter what you think of this, they're literally holding back this stuff, and watch, the shelves are going to start to thin out. So, unfortunate. If you guys aren't on our Discord, it's even more important now, more than ever, to be on there. We're about 15,000 in all 50 states. We have groups. In other countries, we have groups. They meet bi-weekly, weekly, or even monthly in groups that actually meet in person. Before we were doing that, of course, that was paused for a minute. I, of course, told everyone to do their best judgment and to essentially, use your own judgment on this one, which I bet you a lot of people are not going to be meeting in person just because of the fear of everything, right? But I will say you guys need to continue meeting, period. This is something, a lot of these groups were prepared for anything. You guys can join these groups or the creator group or the exclusive military group by going to marfooglenews.com. You can also sign up for Marfoogle Alerts. There's already 70,000 people on our list, and you don't want to be left out. So marfooglenews.com. And then, of course, thermal camera system helps keep apartment residents safe during the CV pandemic. Yeah, thermal. It says a Stoneham apartment complex is using state-of-the-art screening processes to help keep its residents safe during the CV. It says Stonehill Towers is one facility now using thermal solution to scan workers at the 200-unit building for any signs of a fever. The thermal camera system can be set up to monitor a specific area, in this case, a section of the building where they want to restart a renovation project. If anything is over the threshold you set, for example, we set it at 100 degrees, anybody over 100 degrees will set off an alarm. Steve Hams of New Hampshire-based One Security explained. So they can set it to, say, 101. Remember when Megan's blogs, who is a creator over on DLive, she actually was in China during the first lockdown before we even had a lockdown, and she did videos of all sorts of stuff, got those out via VPN. She multiple times was walking past or was actually stopped and took her temperature. There was one instance where literally she was 0.03 degrees off of being taken away and being held. It was like something like 99.3, and she was like a 99 or something. And she was literally on the phone with Green Bay Wacky, another creator, and they were talking with everybody watching. It was nuts. So again, there are things like that. Are they going to set up something like that if this comes back around and does another line of this? And I'm sure everybody at home is wondering, is this going to come back around? Are they going to say it's all starting over? They're going to lock us back down? We don't know. They are saying that a second wave is inevitable. Some people are debating whether the whole thing is this or that. Either way, I can tell you, prepare for a different life now. This is what is happening. All of the changes, there's really no debate because they're physically going to happen. You're talking about reality of these things changing regardless of the origin, where you came from, what it is, if it's this or if it's that. That doesn't change. What we're covering is how life is changing as we know it. And we're talking about physical complications, just living day-to-day life, not being able to go get a haircut, not being able to go get meat, not being able to go get toilet paper. These are the things that we need to prepare for, and you need to prepare for now. If your state just opened up, go get as much as stuff you can as far as, get done what you need to get done, but also prepare. This might all start over. We have no idea what their plans are. That's what the scary part is. Now, it says provisional D counts for CV. It says, now, can you explain this? We've got 2 pages here, and I'm gonna pull the CDC actual website up. Dex, can you go over this real quick and show exactly what the point was here? And he is on the phone.
Yes, I can, Adam. Sorry about that. So here's an interesting bit of information. This is coming directly from CDC. So, hey, it's CDC information. It's their new, I don't want to say new, but it's their count, right? Their count of the what's happening with CV and other things. And if you scroll down, you can just stop about right where the totals are at the top. They've got this breakdown, and what's interesting to see here is that when you look at the total deaths from CV, it's only at 39,910, which is a much different number than what we hear from, say, John Hopkins, which is being used in the media all the time. Now, I will, I don't want to just peddle false information here. This is, they do say that this information is coming from a different source, and it does have a little bit of a lag to it, but that's a huge difference. That's a huge differentiation of numbers that are coming in. So they also do show, other causes like influenza, pneumonia, influenza, or CV, where it's all combined, which is, I don't know why you want to look at that, but that is a number, but that's not the CV number. But then the CV number here is only 39,910. So this number is probably undercounted because the data is slow to come in. It's coming from reports that come in from, I guess, the death certificates or the information that gets filed with each of them. But the question I ask is it really that far off from the John Hopkins number? Or should it really be that far off from the number that's being reported by the mainstream? And I think the real challenge we have here, we should be asking is, what are the numbers? And we hear so many different stories about, a guy falls off the horse, bumps his head, he had a cough and he passed away. So we label that CV, as opposed to somebody who really did unfortunately pass away with the CV. So, this is just more information. Take it, look at it, analyze it, watch it. I think we should pay attention to what this number does over time. They tend to, it looks like they're updated every couple of weeks or every week. So that's what this is.
So again, with all of this, there's a second piece here too. With CDC and all the official information, there's a lot of things coming out Again, we have to make sure that we are covering things that we can back up, that we can say. Otherwise, we can't just give out, we don't want to push anybody in the wrong direction. But again, the majority of the country is asking questions. In fact, I would say 99% of people are curious. They're wondering about this, and there's a lot of different opinions about it. Again, we cover those sometimes as well. But on this note, I would say there are some things that really stand out. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this. Again, this is something that is a little bit argued here, but this is straight up fact. This is from the NCBI. It is actually from NIH. So this is the place that Fauci actually leads. And this is an old paper. So I just wanted to point out, this was a great thing found by Dex and some of our viewers. So this compound, again, as we all know, there's a big argument about it. The whole point is that this is an actual published online document from NIH saying that this compound is a potent inhibitor of SARS-CoV infection and spread. So again, it's just crazy to us to think that when this first was mentioned, people were like, oh, why would you even say something like that? When they themselves wrote a paper on how it was a severe and potent inhibitor of it, which means this thing is pretty good, or at least of inhibiting that specific thing. So we're not here to argue about it. We're just putting out the actual information from the actual NIH that a lot of people probably never knew about or forgot. So this is, again, in 2005, 15 years ago, put out by the same group and the same place that is led by the same gentleman who's been there for a very long time, Mr. Fauci. Hey. So take it or leave it. You guys can check this out. You can go fully into this document as deep as you want. Go to marfooglenews.com. If you guys want to help support us in a different way and protect yourself, highly recommend this. We've been talking about this for years. We've done specials on it. As far as an electromagnetic pulse, this is something that any prepper is prepping for right now. This is what the government is prepping for. This is what the military is prepping for. This is what the president just signed 2 bills, executive orders on. This is, in fact, one of their biggest priorities right now. In fact, we work with EMP Shield. It was the one company mentioned in the EMP resilience report by the Department of Homeland Security. Again, these guys have done work for them, the DoD, and now they are officially part of the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. So why leave it up to military and up to the government to protect themselves and then protect you when you could just go ahead and protect your own grid, your own house? People say, well, what if the grid never comes on? Well, that's exactly why this is important. In fact, if you get this on different devices, including your house, then your devices will actually be good. But also, you can get it on your car, on your solar system, on your ham radio, on your motorcycle, whatever has an engine, you can actually get that on. So again, even if the grid never comes back on, you start up your generator, your house is running, your car is running, everything is running. That again is marfooglenews.com/EMP. marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, and then going back into this, fact-checked, hospitals get paid more if patients are listed as this, on ventilators. So, obviously, a new video came out, which is Pandemic, and a lot of people are talking about it. I watched the first 25 minutes. I was not able to get to the part 2. I don't know if part 2 is out yet. But again, the part 1 goes under the Mrs. Mahikitsevitz, something like this, and everybody is passing this around. It is a very professional documentary, and it is talking about this woman, her experience with the agency that Dr. Fauci works for, all of this stuff. So this is, again, one of these fact checks, right? So it says, and this is what their answer was to if a doctor marks it on there as CV or as a serious problem, then they get paid more amounts of money. It says, as fact-check reporter Angelo Fischera, who interviewed Jensen, noted, quote, Jensen said he did not think that hospitals were intentionally misclassifying cases for financial reasons. Again, that is the claim, that's the accusation. But that's how his comments have been widely interpreted and paraded on social media. It says recent legislation pays hospitals higher Medicare rates for CV and treatment, but there is no evidence of fraudulent reporting. It says Julie Altman, a member of the editorial board of the American Assembly Association Journal of Ethics, told PolitiFact it is, quote, very unlikely that physicians or hospitals will falsify data or motivated by money to do so. Again, that was the fact check. So, Dex, I know that you haven't seen Pandemic, but they talk about this in kind of detail. And it shows a bunch of doctors talking about it, and it shows about some of the famous ones that have come forward on this. And again, this is something that you guys need to go just look into yourself, be the judge on. The fact is, period, that if you put together the fact that Dr. Burse, and this is all over the place, everybody's talking about it publicly, Dr. Burks said that not exactly, they don't have to be just CV, anything around that. They are in a general nod putting the CV on it. So, with that being said, if somebody has passed away, then that is a higher amount of money for the Medicare hospital. So, they can't really fact check it because it is true, but at the same time, the accusation can't be confirmed or denied. You can also look at the doctors denying it, and you can also look at the doctors saying that that is true. You be the judge. Again, it's not our place to tell you.
Yeah, Adam, did you see the one from the latest nurse out of New York talking about the hospital she was working in the I guess the poorer part of town? And what was happening there?
Oh, well, no, I don't know. I've seen a lot of different...
if you haven't seen it, like you can find it on my Twitter. Maybe I'll find it and I'll post it on our page for this show so people can watch it. It's a really interesting insight into what she said was going on in the hospital and sort of how many more people were perishing due to potentially negligence or just the circumstances of what was happening around, all of the event. And it wasn't necessary. They didn't have to. These things didn't have to happen, but they were. And people were doing things that were making it happen. It was really, really insightful.
Well, also, if, say, in certain areas where one thing is getting all the attention, or if somebody doesn't get in or somebody doesn't go to the hospital for reasons of, worrying about this, I wonder how many people had stuff that if they would have went into the hospital, they would have found, oh, you had, your kidney was about to burst or something like that. How many of that kind of thing might have happened. Now, I'm going to go over to chat real quick, and it looks like it is working. Zip Freer says, Obama was just a puppet for CFR Georgetown that runs D.C. Zip Zap says Cuba is helping CV patients around the world with interferon. It says, I take hydroxychloroquine for my rheumatoid arthritis, I think it said. It went by too fast. Mesa, the Meatloaf, what's going on? TTC, April Osborne, Chris Starr. I know someone who passed and they blamed it on CV. So, Chris Starr, that's pretty crazy. And thank you for coming over to my show. I don't know if you're still doing yours, but that's awesome. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Chris Starr, make sure to go over and show her some love. Again, there's a lot of really good people in here, and I really appreciate everybody that has supported me for going for GP. It's often a really, really big uphill battle. So, thank you guys for all being behind me. Okay, let's see here. Also going to see if I can find this. Let's see here. All right, 1 second here. Turn down the volume. I'm going to make sure I get to you guys. No. Okay. End Times, once again, is our top contributor. That's crazy. Amy R., nice to see you back here, Minnie. By the way, End Times, I've seen you everywhere over on this platform, literally supporting all sorts of people. So honestly, this is why people should tell the platform. There's people like you that go around and support all of these different creators. Again, that's how our crowd is. Our people stick around. They end up supporting others. It's pretty amazing. So let me see here. I'm going to try to pop this out so I can see this and make sure I don't miss you guys. Aha, that's why. Boom, boom. I'm going to shout out a few people here. Manny P, thank you for the ice cream. Grace for you too. Thank you for the diamond. Crewstar, thank you for... I know at least something was passed around there and I missed it, so I'm sorry. And then Space Monkey Florida says, much love to the Foogle fam, Marf and Dex. This is a truly special place. Thank you. Frostbite, thank you for the ice cream. Colby Jack, thank you. 420 Harley, what is going on? I always see you in here. That is so awesome. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come over as a creator yourself. Amy R., Annie NH Marfoogle fam, New Hampshire Marfoogle fam. So I know that there's New Hampshire Foogle fam. In fact, we've got Daryl over there. We've got a bunch of really cool people over there. Carrie Ray, Shastina, Jaw Farm. Thank you for coming tonight. And then, of course, we've got Tuck Pup says, Shiva explains hospitals' cooking books and how they profit off of the ventilators just by having them. Whitney 0109 says, love from Kentucky. Chips are falling. Angela 1609. Thanks for all you do, Marf, Dex, and Mod, says Grace for you too. Capper, Renegade Petey. We've got Miss Jackson. Thank you, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Sorry, I had to do it. Tuck Pup, again, thank you. Reed Storm. Stand for Truth. Andrea 22. Brian's Cot. Jen B. Cox, thank you again so much for all you guys do. Well, thank you. 420 Harley, you don't need to support us. Thank you so much. Please don't ever thank me. I'm the one who owes. Well, no worries. And again, thank you guys for all coming back over. Laura Griffith, Michelle K, what is going on? We knew China was moving to a digital currency. That's another crazy thing, is that this is all going crazy digital. Everything is. Part of the actual public plan is a lot of this stuff is going digital as far as, currency isn't official yet, but a lot of people think that it's going there. Cooking books equals false reporting, cause of D. Again, we are going to blast that open again. Thank you to Love Tiffy, by the way, for sending that video. We had an exclusive on the planes and how packed they were. That was crazy. We didn't even cover that on an official show. Awesome. Are you on there? You, Amy R., what's up? I'm glad you guys are finding each other. Softly and tenderly, we are already almost digital. Weebasun, Miss Marla Stininger, Adam. Bert 11. You must apologize a million times. Oh my gosh. Part of the song. Shy the Coffee, Johnny Doom, waiting to wake up to a crazy world. April Osborne, you are my homie. You don't have to ever do that. And I am so thankful to have people like you over here creating. Ann Lynn show. I'm going to host some other night. Is it tonight that we're going to host them, Dex? I don't know. I think it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes, it's going to be next Wednesday. Or we'll be doing that.
What's that?
We're going to start hosting the Foogle fam as much as we can if you guys are on.
This Wednesday, tomorrow, I think we have our first.
Okay, and we were waiting until a big event happens, and of course, we're still waiting for that event to happen. So, wow, you guys can't hear that. So, like I told you guys in the beginning, there's huge, just huge thunder right now. And in fact, Dex, you heard it right before the show. It sounded like a bomb went off. I'm hoping that nothing stops and my power doesn't go out. Liz LaMarche, thank you over on YouTube. Carol Higginson, thank you so much. That is incredibly generous. Thank you for the $20 super chat. End times on both platforms. This is my first and only chat on YouTube. Go to DLive Foogle fam if you haven't yet. Make the switch. So End Times has actually been in like all of the big creators over here. I'm so glad that you guys found this outlet. Again, for somebody like you, End Times, when you go to support a creator like what was his face, more of it goes to the creator. So that is good for you guys as well. Alex G. 96% human primate DNA similarity, 80% CV19 DNA similarity. So is CV19 really a natural CV? This implies genetic modification. So again, that is an argument that we need to have on a special show. We might even we're thinking about Vimeo doing some crazy stuff, putting out some really deep things. We want to get some bigger names on here. We're going to be talking to some really awesome people here soon. And then Mad Scientist Soaps. Marf, be bold, be brave. Think of the lives you'll save. I love it. Almost sounds like a song. You're alive and blessed in my healing and prayers. Thank you, Mad Scientist Soaps. GoPro Chicken, dig the new camera view. Thank you. I'm surprised you noticed. And the only reason for that is because the tripod knocked over and had to adjust a million times. Alex G. Politico USDA let millions of pounds of food rot while food bank demand soared. Dave Searles, thank you for pledging on Patreon. Candy Leftwich, Stevie, Daryl Toom, thank you for pledging on Patreon. Robin Pagan, Brenda Atnip, Greg Bentley, Loretta, Tamara, McCarthy Pooh. I know I just said that wrong. Pug. Tamara McCarthy Pug. Let's just rewind that. Let's just. It's one of these. Tamara Pooh. Pug. That's how you say it. Pug. I think. Anyways, just continuing the show. Code Red, thank you for following on Patreon. And GSO Cash and Kircha54, thank you for subscribing. Rhiannon, thank you for being the last one out. And Outlast Forever Charlie, keep up the public, confused, separate, paranoid, and under control. Thank you, Marf and Dex. And saying that basically that is how they work. Okay, so we're going to get into this. We're going to get into a couple more, and we're going to get the phones open up. Make sure to call in right now at 224-400-MARF. If you've never called in before, this is the night to do it. Don't ever be afraid to talk to us. Again, you can share stuff. You can share videos, archived documents, anything you want. Give us a call at 224-400-MARF. Okay, let's go over here. China moves to wean itself off of U.S. dollar dependence. I thought it was kind of somewhat, back and forth on this. Steps up testing of sovereign didgeridoo currency. Reports that China was launching a pilot program to test its ambitious digital currency electronic payment made headlines in late April. I'm just having a really hard time today. amid the emergence of screenshots and social media showing the DCEP wallet. Now, Dex, do you know what the DCEP wallet is? You're our crypto and tech expert here. Can you explain that? Because I don't know anything about the DCEP wallet and all of this stuff.
No, Adam, I don't know about the DCEP wallet, but I do know what a wallet is. So from in the crypto space, that's designed to hold your currency. So obviously, I guess some of the things that I've known about crypto with specifically with China is they pushed a lot of this out from their country in the past, basically not allowing a lot of things because they wanted to own it and control it. And now we're seeing the fruits of that work where they are starting to, roll their own crypto. They didn't want what they called ICOs and all these new cryptos that were starting in China. They basically outlawed all of that. But they're obviously hot on the technology because they're going to use the technology as we see here to look at their own digital currency.
So, this is something that obviously we have feared here. And, a lot of people have looked at China and said, oh, they're so this and so that. But a lot of the people that are kind of awake to what's going on say we're not far behind as far as the whole digital tracking thing that they did with WeChat and all of these different things. It's no different than here. I think some Chinese Americans usually would probably go, you guys aren't that much better. You guys are just not so upfront about it. As far as we're living an episode of Black Mirror. The tracking that's going on, the contact tracing, no matter what you are, it might be a tad controversial to even question that, but you have to understand things are changing rapidly, and it's changing to the point where we just all have to accept that. When Edward Snowden came out with that, bombshell a few years ago, people were shocked, but they weren't just that should have been news forever. That was the biggest news that has ever happened, period. And it just kind of brushed off. It was just like any other news. But as far as how our Constitution was made here, how many countries were, if you're in Australia, here, whatever, you would have thought that would have lasted longer. People being pissed. They were listening to all of our calls, all of our texts, everything. I should say they are. So why did it last so very short? It's because people have subtly been kind of given this. We all know this is what is going on. Now that they're going to digital currency, we've said this for years that this is going to happen. Now China's doing it first, and I bet you this is on our list in the next 5 years, 5 months, 5 days. See you on Thursday. So we'll see. Then, of course, asteroid sneaks past satellites in one of the closest flybys on record. It literally snuck by. It just said, hey guys, hey, oh, I'm passing by. Hi. That was my impression of an asteroid sneaking by the way.
And we could have heard that too, because that's how close this thing came.
I'm glad you liked it. Anyways, so apparently this thing literally went within not too far. It says a previously unseen asteroid the size of a truck flew about 4,300 miles over the Pacific Ocean on Monday, making it one of the closest passes on our planet on record. Astronomers had no notice of asteroid 2020 JJ's existence as it was discovered using the Mount Lemmon survey in Arizona right around the time it reached the closest point to us. Okay, so listen to this point. They've closed all of the telescopes. Big one there. They've closed all of the telescopes except for a select few that look for specifically asteroids. Yet a lot of these get caught by the smaller telescopes. In fact, some of the biggest ones that if they were to have hit Earth, of course, these are all ones that, safely pass by, have been found by amateurs. So why are, some of these smaller, Discovery telescopes closed down? This, they didn't discover until it would have been too late. If it was to hit, it would have not had any time. Nobody would have had time to prepare. I mean, don't you agree? If when you say the size of a truck, Dex, that doesn't sound that big. But when it's going 20,000 miles per hour, that's a city killer. Why? People, there's got to be something bigger going on. Why would they have all the telescopes off? Just doesn't make sense.
That's crazy. When I went and I was looking at the NEOs and I saw this article and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I went and looked at the list of NEOs. And then when I was looking at the distances, this is so close. I mean, when you look at the list on the NEO list, it's like they said, it's the closest one. Like it was, they didn't have enough decimal points to get to the fractional number that showed how close it was in an AU.
And that's exactly what I mean. And an AU is however many millions.
That's astronomical unit, which is the distance to the sun. And even on the LU, which is the lunar unit, which is the distance to the moon, it was still a tiny fraction.
Yeah.
Because it's so close. We're talking like, what, 4,300 miles, it said?
And that doesn't sound like much, but that's about the distance between, a little bit more than Seattle to New York. So this thing was roughly that close. And when you think about how fast it was going, this thing could have wiped some out. And we're talking about serious damage. Now, actually, it does talk about how, let's hear. It says, NASA keeps an online database of close approaches by asteroids and other, quote, near-Earth objects going back to 1900 and 2020. It says JJ comes in the sixth closest approach ever recorded. It should be noted that the top 10 close approaches have all come since 2004. Do you guys think that's weird? Since 2004, we've literally had more close approaches, the closest, out of any time in history. That's weird. This isn't because asteroids started attacking us in the 21st century. Rather, it says something about how astronomers and their technology are becoming better at spotting ever smaller and closer asteroids. Asteroid 2020 JJ is estimated to be between 9 and 20 feet, and it says making it a pretty puny little hunk of space junk. Consider that asteroid 1998 OR2, which made headlines recently for its close pass, is a mile across. It says, had 2020 JJ actually struck Earth, most of it would probably have burned up in the atmosphere. In other words, this space rock wasn't any sort of existential threat, but it did fly closer than many of the satellites orbiting our planet and would have potentially struck one, creating a big mess. I don't think that would be a big mess. It probably would have just fall. So I guess, 20 feet, from what I've heard, going 20,000 feet, if it does make it through, can do a heck of a damage. But I guess it's not a city killer. It's more of a satellite killer. So it's how they word things that, of course, get us all up in a bunch. If you guys want to support us and do something that actually matters. Now, I've talked about this for a year now. This is something I have actually done for a year. If you've never done earthing or grounding, you need to talk to somebody who has. There's people in here that have been doing this as long as I've been alive. It is essentially the same thing as going and standing barefoot on the ground. You might not think that's anything. Once you know the science of it, this actually has 25 medical studies behind it. It's pretty amazing. What it does is it reduces inflammation and it makes your body all work better. We were meant to be connected to Earth. We are electricity, just like our outlets and how you ground an appliance. We need to be grounded. Our hearts are electric. Our brains are electric. Our nervous system is electric. And when you are physically standing on Earth, you are grounded. Now, when we made rubber sole shoes, we literally pulled ourselves out of that. Now, what these are, they have a bunch of different products. You can get the mats for in front of your computer if you're sitting there all day. But again, what I use is the bed mat. You actually put it underneath your sheets. You just go to sleep and you get 8 hours of grounding, which literally has changed my entire schedule. I used to stay up way late. It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. Boom, I wake up at the same time in the morning. This thing has fixed my clock and my digestive system. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/earthing. You can look into the benefits it can have. Again, it's all up to you guys. You can watch the Earthing movie. We, of course, have had Muriel Hemingway, award-winning actress, on the show talking about it. We've had Clint Ober, the man behind it. He was, of course, the star of the Earthing movie. You should check it out at least. Ask somebody that has done it. That's marfooglenews.com/earthing, and a small percentage of it goes to help us grow. So thank you. And then Venezuela arrests 2 Americans for, quote, failed invasion. Why does Venezuela always make the news? I don't know, but it is getting pretty nuts. So it says 2 Americans were detained in Venezuela on Monday on suspicion of plotting to topple President Nicolás Maduro's government, which has accused U.S.-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido of bankrolling the scheme. So they're saying these 2 specialists were bankrolled by Guaido to actually take or invade and take over or something. It says the arrest came a day after the government said it foiled an invasion from the sea, killing 8 assailants and capturing 2 others. Maduro appeared on state television to show the passports of this guy, Luke, and the other, and said that he spoiled it. It says Maduro then told the Venezuelan military high command that the pair were members of the U.S. security forces. So what happens to these guys? I wonder, these guys are going to be done, I think.
Well, we're denying it, obviously. At least that's what T-Man said. We had nothing to do with it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Doesn't that also
if it really is our guys, then we'd want to do something, but we wouldn't admit it either. So we'll see what comes out.
Okay, but where does that put it?
At the
That
same
means
time, if it was our guys, I'd almost bet we wouldn't be caught.
Okay, but that's not true. They said 8 assailants. So does that mean they took the other 8 out and they caught these 2? So if they they took out the other 8 assailants. So those were potentially our guys too, or guys hired by our guys, if this was us, right? Either way, if they took them out, if the other 8 could have just been, locals that were working with 2 people, right? Yes, I get that. But if whether this is our guys or not, what is going to happen now? Do you think that he's going to put them in a cell and have them be prisoners of conflict, or are they done? Is he going to pull a Kim on them with the anti-air gun?
I'd say both, but he's definitely going to try and extract as much information and then use them for trade if possible, and see what kind of value you can get out of it.
Whoa, look at this though. Attorney General Tarek William Saab earlier told reporters that, quote, hired mercenaries had signed a $212 million contract with Guaido using funds stolen from state oil company PDVSA. That's not necessarily true, but holy moly, that's like 4 Kanye West albums right there. That's a lot of money. That is nuts. $212 million to take that guy out. Man, what if you had that on your head? I would not have a single friend. It says a neuroscience startup uses helmets to measure brain activity. Meanwhile, some helmets protect what little brain activity is in people's heads. It says if you want your mind read, there are 2 options. You can visit a psychic or head to a lab and get strapped to a room-size, expensive machine that will examine the electrical impulses and blood moving through the brain. It's exactly why I say about the earthing stuff, we are electricity. That's what's so crazy. They can literally measure our brain waves from outside of our head. That must say something about for people that don't believe in anything, there's some extremely crazy design here. It says, either way, true insights are hard to come by, and for now, the quest to know thyself remains as elusive as ever. It says Kernel, a startup based in Culver City, California, says it aims to transform brain science from an esoteric art into big business. It's found a way to shrink the machines used by researchers and make them cheaper. So this is just the start of what they are talking about. It says this triggers a new era of access to the mind and ability to ask all sorts of new questions about ourselves. That's just freaking weird. I don't know if you have an opinion on this, Dex, but I just think this whole thing is absolutely creepy. We're going to get to the point where they're going to have machines.
It just continues to progress, right? And we see more and more of this technology and more of the ability. And while, yes, it's a giant room that's got with computers to be able to do it today, tomorrow it'll be, something the size of a phone. And then before that, much longer, it'll be something smaller than a watch that'll be able to process that.
And again, you're talking about something that later on down the road, it will be an app. That's a pretty scary thought. Speaking of scary, everything we learned from Boeing about its potentially game-changing Loyal Wingman drone. The stealthy air-power teaming system drone has a snap-on nose that can accommodate a huge variety of payloads and can be swapped out quickly. Now this is the bad boy beast. Apparently this launched in Australia. We've got friends like Gives a Minute that's over there. These things are going to be flying over him. This is one scary looking plane, and again, in the front, they can actually have whatever number of different things that they've got there. They even have lasers on our actual jets now, so I can imagine that something like that could also be strapped on one of these guys. And this is going to be flying over people. This thing is crazy looking. It says, in a massive milestone for Boeing and potentially for unmanned aerial combat system as a whole, the company officially rolled out the first of 3 pre-production unmanned teaming aircraft, which is the central component of a total system called the Air Power Teaming System, or ATS for short. The Warzone was part of a small roundtable of journalists that talked with 2 of the minds behind ATS ahead of the official unveiling that we learned about a lot about this potentially game-changing system, to say the least. So it says it is designed to work with manned aerial assets in the Loyal Wingman role, and to do so at a remarkably low cost. In effect, the concept has to potentially to drastically expand the size of a tactical jet force at a fraction of the cost of buying up full-up manned airframes, while also infusing a whole new set of disruptive tactics into the air arms playbook. It will also make manned assets more survivable by not having to risk them during the direct parts or the duress parts of some missions. So you're talking about this has a combination of artificial intelligence and a certain level of autonomy to be key in really creating a revolutionary item. So what this thing does is it flies with somebody. So you got Top Gun there flying. This thing can go ahead and scout, and he can send it to do different things, and it will also hit any target around. The crazier part is, say he's flying and somebody comes up behind him. This thing will watch his 6. These things are flipping. I mean, I can only imagine flying with one of these things, right? This is the amazing kind of technology that we're, when are they going to use any of it, right? What also it says to me that eventually we're going to have a physical enemy. For now, it's just been us like taking out these little countries that really can't do much to us. They don't have an air force like ours to, it's basically been us like just dropping turds on people. Whereas we haven't gone up against a real big enemy that actually, dogfights since WW2. When is that going to happen? People think that there's never going to be a WW3. Some people consider it already been, done. Maybe WW4. But we're talking about, when are these all going to be put into place? The next conflict will be a lot of autonomy, AI, and war. We're straight in a Terminator movies. And not to mention, when all this Skynet stuff kicks in, we're talking some serious changes. So, As far as that goes, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that we should have any kind of AI, especially strapped with weapons above us or any country? If you're in Australia, Europe, wherever it is, do you think that these chings should be flying above you? I don't. Personally, I don't like any of it, but I'm old school and just don't like it. All right, and then let's see here. Chips are falling. Thank you, Jaina QT, Soup and Poop, Al, Paula, Genghis, the Nameless Blog. Thank you guys for the ice cream and the lemons. Elizabeth MI39, thank you for the diamond. Again, thank you for multiple diamonds, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. Amy R, holy moly. Jack and Crowley, Amy did a freaking ninja. I don't have like a crazy. Do we have a sound effect? You got to do the sound effect, Dex.
I'm a little late on that.
Yeah, you really are.
We should do it again.
I don't know. Wait, do it. Wait, hold on. Wait. Do it one more time. Thank you. Now, but Amy R says, can't get through on the phone. Ordered hard winter wheat from Nebraska distributor. Ordered canceled because of mold in product. What? Well, I would hope that that is just your order, or are you trying to say that the whole company or something? So I want to stay away from getting in trouble there because I don't know about that company. But again, thanks for the heads up, I guess. If we can try to get her in, again, Amy, you've supported us more than anyone else. You are our top contributor. So, again, thank you for letting us know about that. Again,
she made it.
Okay. So what's going on? Oh, okay. So she did. Shiny Day, Vigor 92, Sly the Coffee. There is slow receiving on flour all across the board as well as yeast. ML to the fam mod squad. Let's see. PF Tree. We've got Redheaded Stranger. Mad Scientist Soaps says, seen UFO battles in UK Bristol skies last 2 weeks. If you get stuff like that on tape, send it to us on tape because we still have tape. Crisari's 76. Again, I can't click that now, so I'll have to look at that later. Just a cat mom. Chips are failing. Ninja Nurse. Heaven's calling. Thank you guys for your support. Redheaded Stranger says, body double on Kim. Much love Foogle fam. Tonight I have been stuttering and stumbling all night. End Times, thank you again for all of your support as well. And Space Monkey, you've got End Times just blasting it out of there. Tuck Pup, the Muscle Whisperer, thank you. I was going to say thank you earlier, but I missed it. Crisari 76, Ollie Pop, Forever Charlie, Corp, and I know Dano. Thank you guys. All right, so let's see here. Somebody says, what was that? Hemp and Ain't Easy says, at war now. A lot of people think that as well. Okay, now let me make sure to turn this off. If I pop this out. Somebody said we were buffering there. Let me get that. Boom. What's up, Stoned Wizard? Okay, let's see here. Okay, I want to remind you guys, go over to Twitter. Make sure to be on there. I'm going to be doing some surveys this week, but also, you can go there to feel old. Check this out. I just pulled this up right before, and it, shook me to my core. Former MTV VJ Kurt Loder turns 75 years old. Kurt Loder is 75. that kind of blew me away. Of course, there's been a lot of
things. Did you watch him?
Yeah,
I know I did, but I was pretty young.
Well, I watched him when I was a little kid. MTV was like, I mean, even if it doesn't matter what age you were, people were watching it. Kurt Loder's was early or 80s and early 90s, and that was when I was a little kid. So you're talking about all of the, when I wasn't watching Nickelodeon or Rock the Vote or, all that stuff was back then. I remember Rock the Vote with Bill Clinton. I remember that when I was really tiny. You're talking about 7, 8 years old when in 94. Or no, 8 years old in 94. So I know that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I really feel old. But again, Kurt Loder, 75 years old on MTV, like, just nuts.
Yeah, I remember I watched it in 81 when it first started. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, and also
I can't believe he's that old, though. But I do. And who was the other guy who's now a famous podcaster? Adam, I can't remember his last name.
Adam Carolla or no?
No, not Carolla. The VJ, VJ guy.
Kurt Loder, and then what's his face is on the radio show. He does the hip hop thing. The guy with the big hair. What the heck is his name? Sway.
Adam Curry was the guy I was thinking of.
Okay, Sway in the Morning. He's got a show too. And by the way, I said on Twitter too, MTV, I watched like an hour of this show that says awesome epic videos, and it was all music videos, and it was songs I've heard a million times, never saw the artist. All of the music videos now are just like super weird. It's like every artist is trying to out-weird the next, because so many weird artists have gotten through, like on YouTube, where they just did like just super weird, dorky, just, like amateur at home music videos that blew up. Now mainstream is literally trying to make themselves look like a YouTube video, and they can't do it. Like every music video has like, going inside of an ear and weird effects and like a cat head and just weird. I mean, if you're looking at symbology, there's a lot of that, but I mean, you're talking about, I can just tell that they just suck at trying to be weird and quirky and cool. And then they're pulling out all these like early 90s video techniques. I was just talking to, what was it? Back and forth with Snafu Snap, saying about the 90s video rap, how they used to do those like low angles and like P. Diddy. They're doing it again. It's like all of it's recycling. I know that this isn't like totally down that aisle, but you guys understand. If it's like 80s is coming back without the good music. Just saying.
Now, when I was in the 80s, we were told that all of this was the devil, and it was really, really bad. But I look back and I don't think that it was nearly as bad as it is today when I look at it.
No, I mean now you actually have demonic like dances and stuff with like Taylor Swift and whatever else. So
back then it was the beat's gonna get your heart rate in the wrong rhythm or something, but now it's like, oh yeah, look at the all the
sacrifice. They're just doing a sacrifice. What do you mean? That's all the rage in LA. Sacrifices. Invite me to your sacrifice. It's like a
I'll tell my mom she was right.
Coming of age. You turn 16, sacrifice. In LA. Okay, so we're going to get the phones open. If you guys do protect yourself another way, Nord, again, you guys, if you're spending all your time on the computer watching me or others, get a VPN. This is how Megan got out. This is a ton of protection, and you can use it up to 6 devices. It's really dumb not to have a VPN. Again, I don't think people realize how much can get inside your computer, even in your phone. You're talking about you're just on the regular web, and people are getting into your stuff and fiddling with your pictures. I mean, you know what's on your phone. Don't let it get hacked. Go and protect yourself. Put yourself somewhere else with NordVPN. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Use the special code MARFOOGLE. Okay, and then that helps us as a group get bigger, and it, again, helps us grow as a agency. So thank you guys. All right, Dex, let's get our first caller in here. We've got a just crazy lineup here. Let me open that up. And we're going to get Trucker JP. Trucker JP, you are live on Marfoogle News. What's going on?
Hey there, Adam. How are you, bud?
Good. It's probably been 6 months or something since I talked to you. So, hey, welcome.
Man, it's so good that you got your voice back over here. I mean, let me just get that out there, because that's one reason why it was hard to get you on D-Live out here on the road. Man, I just wouldn't keep signal.
Yeah,
the battle trying to keep in touch with you and up to date. But man, it's ever since I found your channel, my life's been changed. My family's eyes have been open finally. So yes,
it's crazy how just a little nudge is needed for most people to just kind of go down all sorts of holes.
Yeah, and then you reach so many new people. Okay. 4,000 people I'm seeing in the live chats now over here. But I did want to make note to you, you're not, in my notification, you're not a red dot tonight. So I did get a notification you were going live an hour ago, but when I go check you out in my subscription bubbles, you're not a red dot. So I don't know, that might want to be someone looked at, because you only got $2,000 in here and you're pretty early tonight.
You know,
throw that out there while I got you.
No, that's a great point. And our notifications come way, way later. We might need to start using the alert system.
That.
Oh, well, I'm glad that. But
I did get that. You're just not lit up. Yeah, you're not lit up.
No, that's on their end.
That you're live.
Did you get our notification or did you get YouTube's?
I got YouTube's notification, but when I was going to, because I was finding another link for Dex that I sent, I went to go back to find you, and I went to my live, my subscription bubbles. I'm like, well, where's he at? It's not red. And I clicked on you, and it said live. So then I clicked on the link, and then I'm, wait a minute, why ain't his bubble red?
Well,
and I went and checked my bell, and all was wrong. So
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Well,
so you know what's going on. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Absolutely. So there's another thing that you wanted to call in about tonight. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that wasn't it, unfortunately. Yeah, you get pictures.
Yes, one sec.
I don't know what you got lined up first.
Okay, hold on.
I didn't mean to deflate any bubble, bud, because you're still making progress. You don't even know. I'm
No,
gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, trust me. I already know all about it. But the thing is I had to make sure that other people don't get down. It's temporary bubbles in their algorithm, because even people that think that they're totally shadow banned, it goes up and it goes down. That's how they work. It's
You've just woken up 6 more or plus people in the last 30 days. So that's just on my end.
Well, that's awesome. Glad to have you here. And
2 of them are probably listening right now. Right.
Well, feel free. I'm loading up these pictures, by the way. If you want to shout out to somebody while I load this up.
Okay. Snafu snaps, man. There's big things going on over in the Snafu crew. They just started a Discord, so I'm going to re-download Discord because I guess it's popping off in there right now.
Yeah, well, if Discord's fun.
I just shout him out. Yeah, Discord's getting big, man, especially yours. You've reached a lot of people with that.
15,000 just in the state groups. It's crazy. Okay, so okay, so
I've found a way to use you in a lot of apps, my man. That's on a lot of platforms to get the voice out. That's for sure.
Okay, so JP.
#truth, yo.
So I've been seeing a lot of clouds like this too. So this first one is kind of like a line of just clouds and then clear. Is that what you're sending?
Do you see it looks like a cloud blanket?
Yeah. I mean, it's just straight up a thick bar of clouds and then clear sky.
Right. Okay. That I was heading east. The sun was setting behind me, and that was last week. And that was a blanket from, I want to say, Plane Farts and our new technology, cellular technology. I want to call it a blanket. And then people want to look more into that, CJ Blaze puts up a lot of good videos of storms with these blankets, and the sun coming through it, the moon coming through these clouds, and catching these colors that are not they're either man-made or supernatural. So
now
and then there's another picture where it looks, sorry,
go ahead. So the second picture, you're on the road.
Okay, looks like I'm under clouds, right?
Yeah.
Or what do you see?
Yeah, you're just on the road.
That's me under the blanket. I'm under that blanket about
you got tucked in.
30 miles. I just crossed. Huh?
You got tucked in. You're in your blankie.
Yeah, right. That's what I wanted to say. And instantly felt dreary. I started feeling like it was just nastiness, because I knew the sun was leaving beautiful skies. and the sun wasn't going to set for at least another 2 hours, and that's what I had until the sunset. And I'm heading east, so look how bright it was out east.
Yeah, I know.
When the sun's behind me. I didn't want to pull over. I should have, to catch the picture of the blanket behind me with the sun coming through that as it was meeting the blue skies, because the colors. Like I said, the best way I'm going to give it to y'all is go to CJ Blaze and look at the colors, or catch a sunrise if you can. They're just pinks and oranges and reds. I mean, I've never seen rain. That's something there.
So JP, we've got
to bring that up.
A third picture here, and it looks like a Andre Van Zyl comment. And then what was the?
Oh, yeah, the water. I want to go fishing, man, don't you?
Yes, but
so that's a farm. That is a farm land. That's a piece of farm. The guy had just plowed and it was seeded. And what made me grab my camera was I saw his tractor in a field before it that was partially flooded. And this was in between St. Louis and Effingham on 70 in Illinois. And that's a flooded out. That's what a lot of the farmland, the flatlands looked out west last week.
So you're saying
I'm heading out again this week, and I'm curious what it's going to look like now, because my dad thought I sent him a picture of a lake, and I told him what that was, his jaw was hit the floor. He said, "That's a farmland." I said, "That's not what they all look like right now in this area."
Wow, that's incredible.
And that was like last year too.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
I telling you about that last year.
Yeah. So.
Right. I heard you talking about that while I was on hold.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Well, JP, we're a little bit over time here, so I do want to make sure that you get one last point out.
All right, buddy.
Do you want to say one more thing before you go? Or not? All right, JP. All right. Okay, that was JP Trucker. It's hard for him to hear because I know that he's on the road. Most of the time he's pulled over. Up next, a very, very special woman here. April Osborne, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
Well, hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm spectaculous. I think that's a word. Go ahead. So what is going on?
I like that word. You just kind of invented that on the fly. I like it.
I always do a hozo. I don't know where I was going with that one, but okay. So it's Medicare and CV. Yes.
So as you know, my wife is working on the CV unit. She has been speaking to some of the doctors, and some of the doctors have actually mentioned how they're putting down that these patients have CV when they actually have other things like heart problems or cancer or whatever, so that they can make the extra money, which is really disgusting.
Well, we can say supposedly for now, but you know the truth, and most people do. So again, with this, they're blatantly doing it on the open, though. They're saying it openly. They're saying that we can classify anything. So I'm just surprised the majority of people are, well, I guess as afraid as they are, considering that they're telling us about the stats and about the numbers. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I finished radiation in the middle of April and ended up contracting CV myself, and so did my wife and the kids. So we've all had that, and that's gone through my house and is now gone.
Oh my gosh.
It's been crazy.
So what was it like? And you got tested and tested positive and everything?
Oh, I refuse to get tested because they're not putting my stuff in no bank somewhere. Sorry, that's not happening. But my wife got tested. I had basically the exact same symptoms. I know I did. I know I had it. But it was like joint aches. I lost taste buds, headache. I literally felt like I got ran over by a semi. The shortness of breath, which was really bad. And I was just tired, super, super tired. I didn't have a fever and I didn't have the cough, but I had all the other stuff. And my wife had everything, the cough and the whole 9 yards. So that was quite fun here for a couple of weeks trying to get rid of all that.
You know, I didn't say anything back then because I was afraid at that point we didn't know if somebody would actually come and take you. Like in January, back when, if people said that they had it sometime, in some cases people were like reporting, hey, that guy has it, and people were just getting taken. But I think my daughter had it first and brought it back from school, or about this. I don't know if you remember, you watch the show all the time, but I told you guys my daughter coughed for a week and a half straight, and it was constant, just and then I got sick, my wife got sick, my kids got sick, everybody in the house in January was sick. And I did my shows, so you can go back to the January shows and you can physically see that I was like really bad. And still I'm wheezing and everything else. So I think we had it too, but I didn't get officially tested, so I can't really say I did. But how severe my daughter's was, and she stayed isolated the whole time, and then all of a sudden we just all went through this thing, and we still have, I can't taste or smell, and that was something that really started to hit me. I have a 9-month-old daughter. When I'm changing her diaper, I can't smell it. That's weird. It's super, super weird.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it was not good. But I do have to say that drone looks pretty cool.
The one over Australia, the Boeing drone.
The picture of it, yes.
I know. Well.
Yeah, that looks pretty darn cool.
Hopefully we never see it, because if you do see it, it's probably not going to be a good day. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
That's the badass drone right here. And it does, in real life, it has Marfoogle News right on the nose of it. That's true to life.
They're going to come get us all. That's the whole thing.
Yes, exactly. Well, April, is there anything else that you would want to say? And by the way, congratulations on your last radiation. You know that I've been there since before the end of it, and I met you physically in the meeting that we had, when
yes.
you went to the state meeting,
yes.
and I actually met you face to face on Skype. So, but yeah,
yes,
glad to hear that. Is there anything else that you would want to add, April?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, April. You have a blessed night, and thank you so much for being here and helping with everything. And God bless you, and I'm praying for you, okay?
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks a lot, Adam.
All right. Good night. Up next.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Up next, another huge supporter of the show, somebody who has literally not missed a single show. Her, Susan Donahue, and a few others, including Jay Stone and all of this crew that never misses a show. Amy R., you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on? Amy R., a.k.a. Mini 70. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you? Okay. I was calling in about the food shortages, and I had put out a little note on the chat. I had tried to purchase some wheat berries to go into long-term food storage. And that order was straight up canceled. I got a notice from the distributor that I went direct. I went to a guy in Nebraska, like a wholesale distributor. And they canceled the order because the product that they were receiving, they couldn't ship out because it had mold in it. And I had ordered hard winter white and hard winter red, so both types. And if you recall, last year, the farmers couldn't get the wheat or many of the crops off the field because of early blizzards, so they harvested what they could, and they stuck them in those big, round, plastic, almost like bales. That's the product that would be normally shipped out now, but they can't ship it because it's got mold in it, because it was left on the fields. And they told me that there would be no product to be available to ship until this year's harvest. So
you're saying
if you want to talk about food scarcity, there you go.
Wow. And then this is a really a big staple in a lot of preppers. They get this because it keeps for a long time, sort of like rice and other things. So you're saying that they totally got screwed by the flooding last year? Is that what happened to this, or?
Yeah, because the stores that they would have to be able to ship out to people who are trying to order this would be from last year's harvest. And at this point, those stores are basically starting to go bad. And if you recall, the USDA had included all the crops, all the wheat, all the corn, whatever that was left on the field in their productivity reports for like the US's overall harvest. So these grains that are now molded and unusable are still included in the USDA's overall harvest number for last year's crop.
So you're saying their official numbers are actually incorrect, and there's even less food than we think, as far as the base of a lot of different things. I mean, that could actually affect all sorts of different things. Wow.
Yes. And the USDA has now determined and has sent out notices that they are not going to do field inspections for the harvest amounts. They normally go out and inspect the fields and basically, okay, this is how much you produced, whatever, and that goes in the official report. They're doing that all virtually now.
What, like them taking a cell phone picture or something?
I don't know how it's all going to work. I just know that they've basically sent out notices that because of the CV and whatever, they're not doing field inspections. They're doing them virtually.
Wow.
I suppose it would work if they had like a drone that they could send over, but I don't know. Like you said, if they're relying on cell phone pictures, it's not going to be good. We already know the numbers are jacked because of all this moldy wheat that they can now no longer use.
I just pulled up something else somewhat related. It says 3 USDA meat inspectors have passed away of CV-19. So what's even crazier, that actually says, that's from CBS News. They're saying that there's a possibility that they might do that, change the investigations on that too because of that, which would put a further damper on meat production. I mean, this is just crazy. March.
So we've got a staple crop for wheat that's basically, very scarce right now. We've got meat that is going to be pretty much non-existent right now. So if you have the ability to grow any kind of food, then grow food, because that's the only thing I can recommend at this point.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for calling and letting us know that. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Nope, that's it. Just bless you guys for everything that you do. Keep doing such a good job that you are.
By the way, your last call was amazing as well, which we still have talked about that. Essentially, last time you called in, something happened when you were moving your own kind of retirement stuff around and they were freezing it. So after you called, that actually happened to my one of my family members' best friends, and they were totally screwed for like 3 weeks because it was in transition and they held their money. So they were holding their own money frozen, and it was way longer than it should have been. And that's exactly what happened to you. And that's scary. I don't think people realized how important your call was because of what happened. That's really, it puts people, it doesn't put people at ease. Let's just say that. So.
No, and people shouldn't be at ease right now because the economy, frankly, is a joke. All of the money, I think it's up to like $6 trillion that the Fed has injected into the economy right now to try to prop up stock prices, and it's all fake. There's $6 trillion is going to make inflation go through the roof.
Are you saying it's a North Korean grocery store?
Am I saying that it's a North Korean grocery store?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
All of the shelves are just fake food, and then in the back it's all empty.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
It's a facade. It's an old Western stage, and you knock over the board and there's nothing there.
It is. It's a total facade.
Well,
and it's going to come crashing down. And people need to be prepared to not have to run to the store every day to get their meals. They need to have food stocked up and stored up, and they need to grow food because it's just going to be necessary. And there are places online that are selling seeds. So if you're in one of these states where, Walmart isn't letting you buy seeds because they're quote unquote non-essential, there's a lot of places online that are allowing you to buy and are shipping seeds.
Well, one suggestion I have for people too is even if you're growing food at home, you actually don't know if you'll be able to stay at home if something really bad happens. So pack a second thing of seeds and spuds or whatever you need to bring so you can actually pack that with you so you can grow somewhere else. Because that might be something that happens as well. So a lot of people, they'll buy seeds, they'll plant them all, they'll say, I've got a full garden, I can live for 5 years. Well, what if an earthquake or something screws up where you live, or your neighbors come and rob everything you have, and then you're screwed? So make sure to have a to-go bag with seeds as well. That's another cool thing too, is seeds don't take up that much space as far as most of the, you could do a lot with a backpack full of stuff. So, well, thank you so much, Amy R., for calling in. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you being here. Go ahead.
One quick tip. If you're going to be packing seeds in a to-go bag, the best type of seeds would be squash, because potatoes give you a whole protein, but they're too big to pack in a go bag. But squash is good. It stores well. The winter squashes, butternut, acorn, buttercup, all of that. And they give you good calories. So if you're really in a survival situation, that's the kind of stuff you want to have, along with, whatever other vegetables you want to bring.
Well, thank you so much, Amy R. Always a wealth of knowledge, and thank you so much for calling in again. We will talk to you later, okay?
Talk to you later. Thank you so much.
All right,
Bless
bye-bye.
you guys.
Bye-bye. Again, yeah, the potatoes. Oh, we had them. We put them in the dark, and what ended up happening is if they're in the dark, it affects them. They all start sputting out and stuff. Make sure you look at the how to store seeds as well. Some of them are not good to store in the dark. Some of them not good to store outside. It all depends. Okay, let's see here. We've got Camille. You are live on Marfoogle News.
Well, hello and happy farm family. That's what you say, right? I've listened to you several times. But I just had to call today because I was one of those people that was banned from Facebook. I've been on for 10 years. Do you hear me?
Yeah. We're all listening.
Okay. And I've been on for 10 years. I posted a few things about, the V shots, and I posted something about a dictator, a quote from him that said that how we take away your rights little by little, before you know it, and then once they know it, it's too late. And after I posted that meme, boom, I went back I was talking to people. I was talking to this guy who was going to cut my tree. And, I've been on there 10 years. I've got several pages, House of Messiah, and several different pages and that I've had for years with ministry and everything else. And I go back and boom, disabled. I mean, they didn't suspend me. They didn't jail me, nothing. And I haven't had any warnings, nothing. Boom, just gone, disabled.
Well, and
can't get in.
We got frozen when we first had our Facebook group. We had 7,000, 8,000 people in it, and people were active in it. Of course, Facebook, if you have a group, it's really hard to manage. Jay Stone was an amazing person. She spent thousands of hours dealing with all sorts of people drama, because grown people online turn into 5-year-olds immediately. That's a requirement. If you're online and you're an adult and you're on Facebook, you have to act 5. But, she did a great job of doing that. Well, we ended up, after all the work we put in, they ended up freezing it. And somebody basically, I think they had a group of people try to report it. So then I had to change the actual name from Marfoogle News to my birth name. Otherwise, it wouldn't let me do it, which is the stupidest thing.
But you can still open a page once you're frozen, or will I be able to go back on? I have no idea.
Okay. So what we did, and we did get it unlocked, and what we did is we talked to their service. Dex, do you remember and with her situation, I don't think unless she's permanent, she needs to talk to service.
I heard offline what she was doing, and we don't want to say that on the show, but not that it was bad, but there's censored things. And unfortunately she did some things that pretty much got her knocked down hard. The V shot conversations and the German dictator were,
and the Bill Gates and
and other memes. So she got hit hard. So I don't know what her chances are of getting.
And I had a lot of
back.
I had this one meme that over 200 people were sharing. That was just the ingredients that they inject you, with in a V. So. That type of thing. But it was really a bummer because even I had not set up in my phone Messenger. It was really through my Facebook. I didn't really want to put Messenger on my phone, but
Wow.
I figured, hey, it's in Facebook. And so anyway, now all my numbers, people I talk to, I mean, I was on the phone with a guy that cut a tree down at my house. I live in West Virginia. I cut a tree down, and I mean, like in the middle of the conversation when this happened, and then boom, I'm just done. I mean, there's no way to get in at all.
I would try to look up service, and I would try to send him an email and say, can I at least get my contacts off there? Can I talk to my people? We dealt with it for like 3 months. I mean, it took 4 or 5 months to get back on after we had some ordeal, and then even then we had to do all this stuff.
Did they disable it or did they suspend it? Did they disable?
Well, we've had everything happen. We've had it suspended. We've had it disabled. We've had it banned. But again, I don't think we've gotten to the step where we were permanently. It was always like a day or 24 hours or 7 days. Your situation?
This is disabled, permanent. It says the whole count is down.
Yeah.
There's no account, no such thing. It's down. I mean, it was like 1 minute it was on, no warning, boom, disabled.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so it's kind of 10 years, and it's just, I mean, you talk. I used to live in California. My family's not. You don't realize how much you use it in many, many ways. If after 10 years, So
well, a lot of people are
upsetting.
cheering on that you don't have it anymore. I got off of it personally 3 years ago, and I haven't missed it. It becomes an addiction.
Well, that's what I said. I said, God is going to work this out for the good. That's exactly what I just said, that must be God's will then, because I'm going to ask to get back on just for that particular reason, contacting some of the people that I've become close with through the years and things like that. You're smart to get everybody's emails. That's a very smart thing to do, that you've collected everybody's emails and everything, so you still have a way you're going to be able to contact your audience.
Well, and then
that's
another thing is that YouTube owns everything. All the platforms own everything. So if they take this is like, if you're a truther 101, or if you're doing anything controversial, you need to do that, because if they take your stuff,
QAnon on my
I don't even
tag.
See if you say that on here, they take your whole channel. That's why we do it too, because if they take it, they take everybody with them. So I tell everybody starting new channels that you guys need to get like a MailChimp account or something else. There's some smart people out there. I know that like Jordan Sather's got a big list as well. You got to make sure that you have your connection with your people, because you might own the channel, but they can just delete it. They can get rid of it, and they take everybody with. So you'll never see them again.
Crazy. It's just crazy how they can do that. I mean, it just gets you so frustrated.
Well, think about this, Camille.
These people would have this kind of control.
BP Earthwatch was almost at 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, gone. And then he had to come back. He's only at 50,000. So we always rotate his link and others down below. But can you imagine that, just by talking about some of the candidates?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Camille.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in, okay?
Yes, God bless. Yeshua loves you. Shalom, shalom.
All right, you have a great night. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Somebody says we fled from fake book years ago. I can't tweet, snap, fake. Just go straight to web pages. Vigor92 says it's Big Brother. Redheaded Stranger says love BP Earthwatch. Jesse is really just good man. That's why we rotate his so I don't know if you guys know this, but our mods, especially Jay and CJ and all of these folks, they actually rotate a number of channels through the YouTube chat, so you guys can clip. In fact, one of them, basically we've been doing for like 2 years. So again, I don't forget the people that have helped us, or the people that have showed, us kindness. We try to make sure that we help as many people as we can, especially spreading what they have to say as well. All right, so Dex, as far as that goes, yeah, are you kind of glad we're not on Facebook anymore?
Yeah, I think a couple of things that come to mind when you listen to what Camille had to say in her story. We all know we're moving towards this time of the year. This happens every 4 years when things get really touchy on the social networks. And so if you're really dependent on Facebook, or you're really dependent on any particular network, you need to make sure you have things backed up, or you have other ways to communicate with people besides that one loophole, that one channel, because you could do something like this and lose it all, and it could happen instantly with no warning, no nothing. And also, you should take that into consideration if you're going to go be a renegade and say all sorts of things, even if you believe them, and that's fine. You're allowed to have those beliefs, but not necessarily on their network. So you need to know you have to play by their rules or face the consequences, which is very unfortunate, but that's just the way they choose to roll their network. And if you're going to be dependent on it, the other thing I would say is, like, as we evolve, and we look at what's happened in China with their social credit score, these examples are like mini samples of what could happen to us, right? I mean, yeah, you lose Facebook. All right. At least you can still buy food and go eat and do things. But eventually this stuff all gets interconnected, and there may come a point where somebody cuts you off, and all of a sudden it's not just you can't talk to your friends and your family and your connections, but maybe you can't go buy food, or maybe you can't go to the store anymore. Maybe you're not allowed to use the transportation system, right? Like, those things could happen. And you sort of, this is a good eye opener to say, hey, make sure that we as a country, we as people, continue to protect our rights and push for freedoms, and not allow a lot of this technology to creep up on us and get us into a position where we're really backed into a corner.
Well, and speaking of technology, we missed a few visitors to our channel tonight. EMP Shield stopped by and ended up super chatting. And I'm assuming that's Andrew from EMP Shield. So, Andrew, I highly doubt you have the time to watch up until now. That was an hour ago. Thank you so much for your support of this channel, and thank you guys for physically actually watching and being a part of the community. There's a fair amount of people that from the companies we work with that actually are watch the show, and they love the callers. They actually love watching. So I just think that's awesome that we actually work with people that are just kind of part of the Foogle fam for real. So it's amazing. We also missed Alex G. Thank you so much. Carol L. Higginson over on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. Liz LaMarche, thank you for your support. Susan Donahue says, Adam, Dex, Mod Squad, and Foogle fam. So grateful for each other and every one of you. We are #Team Humanity, and it's back. Thank you, Susan Donahue. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here forever. There's only so many thank yous I can say. Susan, you've basically helped us grow in a way that very few have. So thank you. Living for Jesus, have been with the Foogle fam since the near beginning. Great job, Marf and Dex. Thank you. And then Chickle R says, I truly look forward to each and every show. I have come to depend on you and Dex, and I love the Foogle fam. Chickle R, that's awesome. It's crazy how many folks watch it after the fact too. They'll watch the replay. Somebody said yesterday, they said it, Spud Ruckus. You guys probably know him. He's been in the chat a million times. They've been in. I believe it's actually she. I can't remember, to be honest. Sorry, Spud. But again, there's people that say, oh, well, there's too many good people on. I don't mean to be on at the same time as, you never know. They might have somebody else that goes on at the same time. But they said, but you have made it the easiest to watch after the fact. So I watch the next day or 2 hours later or the next day in the morning. People drink their coffee and wake up to this show. So for you morning drinkers, thank you so much. Well, morning drinkers. You morning coffee drinkers, thank you so much for watching my show the next day. And thank you for thumbsing up from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for when you comment, when you thumbs up, that helps our channel. And you guys don't even realize it. So thank you so much for helping us grow and reach more people. A lot of people, it's easy for me to get really negative because a lot of people are saying, we're not showing up in the subscriptions feed. We're not showing up this and that. I try to just kind of go la, 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 la. And not think about it, because it really is sad. Jules B, love your fun and positive show with deep subjects. Jules B, thank you, and it's nice to see your name here so much. I appreciate you guys staying here. Wrong Pill says, thank you, Mods, Dex, and Adam. Seriously love this family, even if I don't say much. Like many, feel warm and fuzzy every time I see you. All of you, Googles. And I'm guessing they said Foogles. Florida opened up yesterday, yet many places are now temporarily closed, yet they were open this entire time. I'm a GIG worker, and this is very odd. What do you think? Happy we found you, says Christy Hawk in Florida. I don't know what the situation is there, but I have friends there, and I would love to ask them what is actually going on there. I'm on the other side of the country, and everything is still closed except for the essentials. And it's weird what they have said is essential. They opened up Big Flowers in LA, so you could go get flowers for Mother's Day, which some people are like, why just flowers? But it does make sense. Flowers is a huge industry at certain times of the year. So it's just funny, why them, but not the Ma and Pa store that sells, things. Edwin Lopez, thank you for your support. Nando510 says, see it through / what happened to the world. It's crazy. End times are here. Lost you on DLive. DLive is down. That is unfortunate. So did we ever get back on DLive, Dex? Do you know? Oh, somebody,
hey,
never
Adam,
mind.
We're good.
End Times
good.
actually came back and said, back, thank God. And End Times did a $50 super chat just to tell us that we were down. End Times, that is awesome. And it's not necessary. You're just showing off at that point. Thank you so much for your support. Alicia Mikado. And by the way, End Times, I've seen you support. You were literally like a bunch of people's top contributors. So it's not just us. You have to realize you're like actually helping a lot of people, especially one of the streamers I saw you support. You're literally, you're getting them past a hump. Like off air, a lot of people are like actually thanking you, and I just hope you can do that. I hope you can actually financially do that. I hope anybody that financially supports a channel can do that, because a lot of people don't realize that, this is a hard time for us as well. And we appreciate it because, we're I guess with what is happening with the platforms, we're pretty dependent on this. The advertisements, those are nothing, the other stuff, it all, and then they take huge percentages. So thank you guys for all of your support. Alicia Mikado, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. And thanks everybody for supporting tonight. And then let's see here. We've got over on DLive, you guys, I'm sorry that we had so many issues. It says you only lost a few seconds. Channel Jammer, thank you. Atlas 928. Dex J gifting 1 month. Thank you. Let's see. Renegade Petey, that Chowky Gal, Space Monkey, the Nameless Block, Auntie M, Genghis, Girl. We've got I'm a Warrior, Red Butterfly, Hippie for Jesus, Mosquitoes, Vigor 92, Lachelle. Thank you for the Ninja Genie. Like to be in the Discord. Make sure to go to our website, marfooglenews.com. You can go to the very top. In fact, I'll just show you real quick. Kahaja Fly Girl, thank you for supporting us tonight. A lot of you guys that have come through tonight and supported, thank you. I'm going to try to get to as many of you as possible. It is now officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. I try a lot of different things, but was the me pushing back, was that dramatic, or it wasn't? It wasn't. And somebody said it wasn't, so. What if eyebrows up, head backwards, hat off? The hat off that was it. That was totally it. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and run inside.
You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you.
Duck Hog, thank you so much. Edgy Whale and I appreciate you, and Nameless Block. Misha, James 89. Hey, talk about that, yeah.
Oh, you open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. I never seen anything like that. Jane accusing on side of Chicago. For my cherub, Stephanie has double cat and a Jessica mom. Gonna be back now. We'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. Check the wire under the red pill. Check the wire and night melody. And the reach of 423 more and the rest of the Bijula TX and the Vida Lock. A yabba dabba sexy jig, little MPHX. Breeze with the Grego to the slider coffee. I've got a hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. Auntie and Revere, 11 and the rest of the Kobe Jack friends that they had. And we ever say, yikes, say kisses with the morning star. And the rest is history. We've gotta sit with me. Rock life, got a Yuba girl, just a cat mom. You've got to charge our money in the back room. I've got to bring it like Mr. Marla, standing job, bring it all the way back. Us to us. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. That was not it. No, that wasn't it either. Gotta bring it back like a jaguar. Bring it back. Gotta go back. Huh? Gotta bring it back like a la 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 yada 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 yada. Yada 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 yada. Yada 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 yada. Oh no 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 no. When even mama no. Protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. You open side or we'll protect you. You run and hide. I shall bring it out. I just want to dreamy love. Gonna bring it back from heaven, and it is love. Gotta bring it back. Gotta bring it back. La 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 la. Check I'll bring it back in just a couple. Hey, Ruby Dee, do you know? Yeah, now I'm gonna say with the 70 years, I'ma bring it just like that. Yeah, yeah. I just wanna go back now, back now. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Ooh, be on the pandemic. 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 Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Playing down my guns and my guns and fire. Name is back and I'm gonna do it right. Do the all in the tea party. Bring it with the always 7 chip day. Gonna bring it back like somebody special. Gonna bring it back now. I gotta get with ya. Gonna go back with your auntie and I'm gonna see it back like I never go in. Be a bad girl, take a mask off. 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 Be a bad mascot, take the 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 mask off. Everybody knows when they're going back. A KBG's house on the backpack. How you now back with the little red pill with the muscle? Gonna bring it back and we know, dear. Be a bad girl, take a mask off. 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 Be a bad mascot, take the 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 mask off. Barefoot last and they're gonna bring it home with the unseen bag with your American work. No Tommy V and the T-boy, we gonna say, oh, I'll never say sorry. Hey, playing your guardian with the mafia. Shastina says I don't just yet. Gonna bring the poker local, gonna go and say. Gonna bring it back around and please don't spray it. Put your mask on if you don't wanna see it, but if you wanna learn how you gotta go spray it. If you're not getting those little viruses, and you ain't gonna get used to it. And if you don't have those viruses, then when they come off, take the mask off, then everybody gonna get sick, cause you ain't used to it. Be a bad boy and take a mask off. Be a bad boy and take a mask off. Be a bad girl and take a mask off. Be a bad boy and take a mask off. Be a bad boy and take a mask off. Be a bad girl and take a mask off. Be a bad boy and take a mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Put the love bagels in the little red pill. Put the chi-chi and the rest not real. Gonna bring it back and you know how I feel. Take a bad boy and take it off peel. Feel it like a takeoff, feel like a take. Feel it like a takeoff, feel it like a take. Feel it like a takeoff, feel it like a dog. I'm about to bring it like you already know. Be a bad girl. melody, gonna go see, gonna bring it back right, oh yeah. I'm about to bring that Shastina. Oh, never had those patches look greener. Gonna say, I say, Greg, gotta know how. Gonna bring it back, man, gotta bring it back.
You want to know what's good?
Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Take the mask off. Chicken what happened ain't easy. I need a Tarvest 360. A Lord and True and the big bad dude with the I love big old Cincy. Pay bill for it last, gonna go to take class, gonna go a girl back. With the dog hawk and the dick jaywalk and the mofo, really wanna say. Another old base 77. I'll bring it back, Robin on 9. Wanna go back down in the little green eyes and the Aztec gonna look fine. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. 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 Roxy lips with the sweet Jenna. Bring it right back like I am a renner. Not I'm gonna be that big owner. Gonna drive it back like I am Sharona. Not gonna care of the big bad Corona. Gonna go back like a rip crawl lower. Good night love with the bad with the leg. Gonna bring it back like I never make it sick. With the nature blues and the edge of the M. Gonna bring it back like you gotta go Sam. Gonna go straight to your man Frank Sam with the beer lover and that 9,000. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Gonna go back with an NES. Gonna bring it back and you better not stress. 'Cause if you're not used to the dumb terms, gonna bring it back and you know that you got words. Ain't gotta use it, ain't gotta do it. Gotta get going to the terms, get used to it. Melody, child money, I bring it back right now. I gotta go run it all from those terms. And if you can, I get it on my back and slip away somewhere. Hey, oh yeah. Bring it back.
Good night.
Have a good night, guys. I love ya. I love you. A lot. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Have a good one. By the way, thank you, Mr.
Brightside 111, thank you. Hope I get to meet the Marfoogle fam in the future. Love y'all. Trinity Red Pill, Blue Pill, ha ho, Kermit the Frog here. For Mrs. Marv and Mother's Day. End Times, thank you so much for your support. And for all the lovely people over on D-Live. Running with Scissors. Love to all my Foogle fam. Chris Ari, 76. Thanks, Adam. Cutthroat Mom. Be Your Valentines. Phil C. Renegade Petey. Melody Felicia, 84. Little Red Pill. Decloff. What the? What just happened there?
keep your eyes, gotta keep right. Oh, 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 oh. Gotta keep your eyes, gotta keep your eyes, gotta keep your eyes. Na, 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 got to keep your eyes, got to keep your eyes, got to keep your eyes down. Got to keep your eyes, 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 got to keep your eyes. Bust it up, down, bust it up, down. Gotta go back, then you never heard of that. Gotta walk back, do it all day. Going right back, like we lost some track. Output lever, wanna bring it down. Girl, girl, in the bear lover. Bring it right back, like you never push me over. That West Day in the Chris race. Gonna bring it back, like I never see your face. Gonna do it just like that. Gonna bring it just like that. Gonna do it just like that. Let's tie the bassoon.
All right, you guys, now it's a real good night. Thank you so much, Red Pear, Tell Wesley, Renegade Petey, Be Your Valentines, and of course, all of the top contributors tonight. The crest was cracked, or the crest was tacked. Can't say goodnight without one of these.
Only news I use, Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use, Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse on Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
I just wanna bring it back, and I know that you know that we gotta do exactly what we want.
Remember, you can go to marfooglenews.com to check out any of the articles from tonight. Thank you guys for supporting. We are going to host somebody completely random, so please do not be offended by the next people. You can always mute the sound. It won't be graphic, it's just free speech. Amy R. is our absolute top crazy, I just choked Porter. N Times is now number 2, but it is all number 1 in our eyes. Chris Sorry's is the number 3. Space Monkey Florida is number 4. Talk Pop is number 5. Hide Your Fly Girl, The Muscle Whisperer, Orly Pop, and Lachelle and Forever Charlie. Thank you for supporting broadcasts just like this one. We appreciate it. I appreciate you. Tiger King? Who's calling me Tiger King? I don't want to be a Tiger King anymore. No, don't. Stop doing the kids' book theme song. You missed that one. No, don't do that anymore. What? Who you talking about? I'm just stalling until I can hit the host button, because I can't do a keyboard, a mouse, and a host at the same time. I don't know how to do it. Alright, you guys. Remember, be nice to everybody. Howdy ho.